Reports indicate that former Anambra State Governor and presidential candidate Peter Obi and former national chairman of the APC, John Odigie-Oyegun, narrowly escaped an alleged assassination attempt in Benin City. The incident, said to have happened during a political engagement, has raised serious concerns about the temperature of Nigeria's political climate as the 2027 elections approach.
Political violence is not something that's new in Nigeria, but when high-profile actors are reportedly targeted, it sends a message beyond party lines. It raises questions about security preparedness, intra-party tensions, and whether our democracy is drifting towards the dangerous normalization of intimidation. To unpack this, we are joined by Yunusa Tanko, National Coordinator, Obidient Movement Worldwide, and Bugie Okhuemoi, a Special Assistant to the Governor on Media and Publicity, Edo State.
Gentlemen, you're welcome. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. Bugie, we're going to come to you first because, of course, you represent Assistant to the Governor on Media and Publicity. I'm wondering what the Edo State government's position is on the situation that happened last week. Let's start from there before we start to pile the issues.
Thank you very much to be with you. Just a point of correction, it's special advisor, not special assistant.
I beg your pardon.
So over the last couple of days, the Edo State government has reiterated its position on what happened the other day. The government is disappointed in that incident. Governor Okhuemoi is not happy about it. And why is that? Largely because the governor has invested so much resources and efforts in the last 1 year and a few months to ensure that we have the very safe, secure, and peaceful states that we've enjoyed over the last, since the administration came in. The governor has put in so much effort to deal with thuggery, to deal with gangsterism, to deal with cultism, to deal with urban crime. And we've largely enjoyed a very peaceful state, over the last couple of months. This is peace that we've enjoyed that has enabled us to host some very high-profile events. We had the APC Governors Forum, where all the APC governors came to Edo State sometime last year. We had the South-South APC Stakeholders Forum. In December, we had December celebrations that for the first time people declared to have been very peaceful without incidents. We had a carnival that lasted for 7 days. So we've had a very peaceful environment, and it's unfortunate to see the pictures that have come out of the activities with the ADC. While the governor has given a charge to security agencies to get to the bottom of the matter and identify the culprits that are responsible, the government has stated clearly that this is an isolated event that has roots in the intra-party crisis that the ADC has. As much as they try to deny, everybody's aware that there's a substantial intra-party crisis with the ADC. And that is what we think may have led to the activities that happened the other day. A lot of inconsistencies with the accounts, a lot of inconsistencies with the stories, but I mean, that kind of optics is coming is not what the governor wants. And the governor has mandated security agencies to get to the root of it. It's unfortunate that we've seen a lot of, with all due respect, irresponsible comments and statements from those that were involved, particularly the leadership of the ADC, as bad as throwing around the word assassination. That's a heavy word. That's not something the governor wants to hear. And it should have only been fair that they waited for the outcome of investigations that will now prove what the actual situation is. But definitely there was nothing close to an assassination attempt in what we saw, and those states.
Buggie,
ADC is not the only party in the state. There are several parties there. And
Buggie, just a second, Buggie.
Without issues.
So, if the word assassination should have no association with the instance, then what would you call what happened with the bullets flying, the ruined cars, and all of that? Now, I'm not holding ground for anybody here. I just want to get to the definitive description of the situation on your side here. What would you associate it with? What kind of violence would that be? And when should it matter?
What's funny is that there really is even no evidential proof about what exactly happened. All that has been subject of conversations have been narratives, particularly from the ADC side, saying things that they said happened. In the last couple of days since that incident happened, so much of all those assertions have already been debunked. the assertion that people were shot. We found that not to be true. They can't even prove it, as even my co-guest who's going to be speaking also alluded to when he was on another station yesterday. The idea that, people came in the way, we don't even have the details. There's no video that even show the activities. We keep talking about shooting. We talk about, there was exchange of fire, there was an attempt. There's no evidence. We haven't seen. All we have seen in terms of video evidence or media evidence have been aftermaths. We see broken chairs, we see, and then we have some of their members speak. So I think it's just appropriate to allow the security agencies conclude their assignment and produce something we can hold as evidence and say, okay, this is what happened, or this isn't what happened. It's interesting. I was listening to Mr. Olumide Akpata, one of the leaders in the ABC yesterday, and he said when they asked him about the governor's statement, because the governor of the state had alluded to the fact that it was an intra-party issue, he said that was a bit too fast of the governor to have said, that he was a bit disappointed that was preemptive. The governor should have waited. The governor should have first said they will get to the root of it, then waited before he said it's an inter-party. But that's exactly what they are doing. Without security confirmation, without any proof or anything, they immediately allude to the fact that somebody was trying to be assassinated.
Right.
So that's what I think. I think before heavy allegations are made as strong as assassination, as strong as who's involved and who's not involved, I think they should wait for the security agencies to do their job and produce a report on what exactly happened.
Mr. Yunusa Tanko, thank you so much for joining us, and I do hope that I'm audible enough for you to hear me. Now, in your own perspective, especially taking into consideration what Bugie has just mentioned, also looking at how long it takes for security enforcement to give us proper answers, would you say that this was a politically motivated assault, rather? And are there any evidences to substantiate that this might have been a politically motivated incident? If not, then the direction that it's leading in, what would you say it is? Mr. Tanko, can you hear me?
We do hope that Mr. Tanko can hear us. Mr. Tanko, if you can, please do confirm, because we're unable to hear you on this side.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can now. Go ahead. Yes, we can.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Hello?
can. Go ahead.
Can you hear me? Okay, thank you. I said thank you for having me, and I apologize for not having visual, because right now I'm in the international airport trying to travel. Quickly, I will not mix my words. Our position is very clear and with evidence. This attack was an assassination attempt on the lives of leaders of a political party, and at the same time, specifically on Mr. Peter Obi. And I say this with all level of sincerity and respect. We all know in Nigeria, the governor himself made a statement that he cannot guarantee the security of Mr. Peter Obi anytime he comes to Edo State. He asked specifically that Peter Obi must inform him before he can come into Edo State. And so that anything that Mr. Peter Obi sees, then he take it. This was the statement of the governor, and it was recorded and published everywhere in the world. I can even send you another copy in case you don't have it. Now, to further justify my claims, we were in Edo State for a philanthropic gesture that Mr. Peter Obi usually do. And he visited Philomena School of Nursing and Sciences at Downing Street, 23 Downing Street in Benin City. We were given a rousing reception by the students and leaders and proprietors of the school. After that, we found it very expedient to visit the house of the leader of the ADC, which is Chief Odigie-Oyegun. At that house, there was also Professor Usumbo, who was also an ex-governor. From there, we proceeded to the venue of the meeting where we were to receive Olumide Akpata. 2 or 3 story building, packed to the brim. We were informed that there's going to be an attack equal to the claim of the governor or the threat by the governor. And We already concluded our program successfully. Then we proceeded again back to Odigie-Oyegun's house to review what took place. Please and please, after we have left that place, 5 minutes after, the attack was executed. Everywhere was scattered. People were moving from one point A to another. Guns were shot. People were being named. Some are being shot with blood all over their body. And we can see it. The most attenuating and most challenging situation was that we thought that would have stopped there. That is why I can confirm to you it's an assassination attempt. They followed us to Oyegun's house. In fact, to tell you the truth, what I'm even suspecting, there's somebody inside within us in that particular building of the Oyegun family. It was when Peter Obi, myself, and Media and the two ex-governors were aligning out of the house. We just moved out of the sitting room. That was when the first gun was shot. That means those people have laid siege around that building, waiting for us to come out. The first gunshot went pa. Second one followed pa. Then the security people have to move us back into the house. That was when the sporadic shots continued. And then at the end of it all, that was where I saw the courage of His Excellency, Mr. Peter Obi, and his colleagues. They were not afraid of anything. They moved out to the building to see the level of damage, and we saw the level of damage to an unbelievable proportion. If it is not assassination attempt, please and please tell me what it is. They came to tell us and greet us and tell us welcome? No. Obviously, they followed us from the office down to his house. Lack of respect for him. So that is where we need people in positions of power to be well schooled. It's unfortunate that this kind of thing is happening, but we have already made all kinds of efforts to ensure that we seek for redress on this particular matter, and urgently so.
Thank you, Mr. Tanko. Now let's come back to Bugie. Bugie, now, the governor of Edo State did actually say something the sort which Mr. Tanko has just told us regarding Peter Obi's visit. At the time, he had said that if you were going to visit, it would be good to let us know. It was, however, framed as a protocol instance, a security protocol instance. But I'm wondering what the protocol is for political, especially opposing political figures when it comes to visiting states, and whether this was followed in this instance.
Thank you very much. To start with, Edo State, under the leadership of Governor Monday Okpebholo, is a very welcoming state to visitors, to residents. I mean, the Edo hospitality is globally renowned. Welcome. We appreciate everybody who comes into, but it also behoves on our guests and those who visit to reciprocate the courtesy of their host by respecting, the values and the what's obtainable in the society they go to. With all due respect to Mr. Tanko, he has to be a bit more circumspect in the way he talks and the things that he alleges. I'm happy that he said they have evidence that it was an assassination attempt. The security agencies are investigating, and we hope when he is called to provide that evidence on it being, because this is something Governor Monday Okpebholo is not going to joke with. He has put in too much effort to ensure that Edo State has the right image and the right perception outside. You can't demarket the state with statements like that. So we hope when the security agencies call him in their investigation to provide that evidence, you'll be able to provide that evidence. Secondly, you see the inconsistency in their statements. Of course, when that happened, Governor Peter Obi quickly addressed the press, talked about how it was terrorism and, accused the state. If you watch the media appearances of Mr. Oluwapata, he has been a bit more circumspect and tempered in his comments. On one of his appearances, he was categorically asked that, you escaped death by the whiskers. And he says, no, he doesn't think it's that serious. That he could have just said, a few other people were in harm's way. And on another platform, when he was asked that, what do you think this was? He said, in his own opinion, it was like these people trying to send a message that, if you are going to practice, politics here, if you are not APC. So it was like an intimidation. But yet we have Mr. Tanko, yes, specifying specifically that.
So if the people indicated that it
so
was,
you can see the,
so if the people indicated that this was kind of like a right of way, if you can't practice your politics here, what does that say about the security situation in Edo State? And what does that say about the framing of Governor Okhuemolo's initial statement from months ago? Now, when you take that and juxtapose it against the security,
I'm coming there, just
go ahead then. I'd really like to know at this point.
Thank you. I'm coming there. That was Mr. Oluwapata's opinion. That was his perception. That was his own impression. That's not the reflection of what's going on in Edo State. ADC is not the only political party in Edo State. We have several political parties. We have several political groups that are actively meeting and going about their businesses without issues. It's always the same set of people who always have issues whenever these issues come up. So that was Mr. Oluwapata's, like I said, his opinion. Now, it's very convenient. Like I said earlier on, there is no evidence. The security agencies are doing their jobs. Whatever Mr. Tanko is talking about is his perception, his opinion, and his allegations. Whatever I am also talking about is also based on what I know. It is the security agencies that will give us an accurate impression. But as intelligent, logical people who are thinking, let's try and put one or two things together to see what the source of this could actually be, where this is actually coming from. It is a bit hypocritical for the ADC and people like Mr. Tanko to something happened a couple of days ago. And when we are trying to look for motive, they choose to go to July last year to pick a motive from a statement the governor made that the governor has on several fora explained and clarified that this was an advisory. It wasn't a threat. The governor can't tell anybody not to come to Edo State. It was an advisory based on his responsibility as the chief security officer of the state, who's responsible for maintaining order and protecting his people, has said, you are a high-profile person. If you are coming, it's necessary for us to give you, courtesies and ensure that not everybody likes Peter Obi, just the same way not everybody likes the governor. So somebody who probably has a grudge against you or has something against you, you can't rule out the fact that they might say, oh, let's take advantage of his coming to harm me. Just let me know when you are coming, which the governor has said. And what's funny is that after the governor said that, Mr. Peter Obi has come to this same Benin City a couple of times after that without issues. One I clearly remember is when he came to see the Igbinedians for an event. Nothing has happened since then. Now, something happens in February 2026, and rather than focus and look for motive in what happened a day before their intra-party crisis, they choose to go and look at what happened in July last year. When they try to defend this inter-party team, they restrict the conversation to Senator Oye to say, oh, Senator Oye was there was an argument about this, and that he was at the event the next day. The crisis that happened the day before in front of Odigie-Oyegun's house had a lot of people. Bugie was just one of those who were involved in all of that. Yes.
Bugie, just a second now. Inam has a very big question for you, but I wanted to ask, in line with what you're talking about now, I wanted to ask Mr. Tanko what security protocols were followed when the visits to Edo State happened. Mr. Tanko, if you could give us that.
Yeah, Baka was in that particular building. A renowned lawyer, former MBA chairman, president. Now, I have it on authority. Not only did we follow protocol by informing the police and everybody that needed to be informed, he personally also picked up his phone and spoke to the police commissioner. He spoke to the police commissioner, informing him that such a gathering is going to take place. And then the police commissioner told him that that's not a problem. It's a normal thing that happens in the political scene and all. So, of course, they will make sure that things are done accordingly. But let me go further. Chapter 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria was very clear. The lives and properties of Nigerians should be protected by the office holder. And that is where we are missing some of these points. The governor, in this respect, is maybe they need to be more schooled, with all due respect. And I'm not referring to him only, but majority of our leaders must be properly schooled in the act of governance. To govern means that you are in charge of everybody, those you like and those you don't like. It is your right to protect them. Whether they inform you or they not inform you, the Constitution makes sure it is clear and spelled out. So the moment such a gathering is being informed to you, or you even have a wind of it, especially in the kinds of high-profile individuals. Former governors, 2 former governors of your state are there, including a visiting former governor. It is impertinent on you as a governor to provide that particular security, whether seek for or not seek for, because it's a constitutional right to do so. In other words, that is to protect also yourself, because this kind of thing could have happened, and then people will be thinking, what did the governor do to make sure that he followed his constitutional right? So any way he tries to look at it, they have failed woefully in their constitutional duty.
Thank you, Mr. Tanko.
And that is the truth.
Thank you, Tanko.
Now, Mr. Bugie, I'll come back to you because, again, like you said, right now it's like a he said kind of situation. And right now it would seem as though we are trying to run away from putting a label to the incident that transpired. I think in your own educated opinion in terms of investigation, you did say that this does not necessarily substantiate the culture of Edo State, because this is not necessarily something that tends to happen. But I'd like to hear from you in your own understanding. How would you classify this incident? Okay, it was not an assassination attempt. Are we saying it was not an assassination attempt and it was an intimidation because nobody was harmed? If a person would have been harmed, then we would have been having a different conversation. So I'd like to hear from you. As we stand right now, there is no label to this. What would you, as the advisor, say this situation is? I don't know if my question is clear.
Yes, it's clear. I can't label what I don't understand. I can't label what I don't know. Like I said, a lot of what is in this public space about this event and about this occurrence are hearsays. There's very little video evidence. There's very little, media evidence. It's largely what they have put out that forms the content of the conversation. So I can't give a tag to what I don't know. But from what I have seen and from what I know, I can tell you what it's not. I mean, look at the narrative.
And what is it not? Sorry, apologies, sir. Apologies.
It is not an assassination attempt.
So based on, you mentioned something, so sorry, apologies. You mentioned something earlier and you had said, when we look at it from an educated standpoint, we reason together. You are telling us what it is not. And based on what you have seen for what it is not, what would you then, in analysis, say that it is? This is what I'm trying to get to. You don't have to say what you do not know, but based on what you do know, what would you say this is?
That I don't know what something is does not mean you must know what something is. Sometimes when you have a medical condition, when you have a medical condition and you go to see the doctors, part of what the doctors do is they do their tests to rule out certain things. So they do their tests and say, okay, this is not cancer. They don't still know what it is yet, but they can rule out certain things. And that's the same logical ideology I'm putting at this. Mm-hmm. We can tell what it's not. We'll wait for the police who have more information to now piece all of those information together to say this is what it is. But from the initial symptoms that we see, we know what it's not. Look at the narrative. They came as a group. I mean, he was decamping. Mr. Oluwapata was decamping to the ADC. They came as a crowd to the event. There was dancing. We saw those videos. There was dancing. There was marrying. They went up. They held their meeting. And according to them, while they were in the meeting, they got reports, which is another very major thing we need to look at. It is unlikely that the person who gave you that report that they are coming to attack you is an APC member. It is more likely that it is one of your agents and one of your people that called you to give you that security report. Okay. We need to ask questions. You probably need to let the security agencies know who that person is. How did he get that information?
Right,
how did he know that was going to happen?
Bugie.
They left there. Yes.
Yes, we are out of time. So if you could just summarize in 30 seconds your final remarks here, and then I'll come to Tanko. But real quick, please.
Does not practice that kind of politics. Governor Okhuemoi is a godly person. He's a very humble person. If you see the way he has attacked gangsterism, cultism, and other vices, criminal vices, you know that's not his way. What's funny is that in one of the appearances of Mr. Oluwapata, they asked him that has the governor reached out? What relationship do you have with the governor? Has the governor reached out to you since this happened? And he said he has a fairly cordial relationship with the governor, that when they meet at events, they exchange pleasantries, and that when his dad passed on, the governor called him to express condolences. That's Governor Monday Okhuemoi for you. He holds no grudges. That's somebody who contested an election with him just about a year ago. So that's not Governor Monday Okhuemoi style. We appeal to those who come into Edo State to respect. I heard Mr. Tanko say, and he repeated it today again, that whether Peter Obi informs the governor or not of coming, he should be provided security. Is he a spirit to know how you're going to move? Come into town without telling anybody. You hold an event and you think security will be provided.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Bugie. Mr. Tanko, final remarks, sir, before we let both of you go.
It designates a management from the prestigious Ahmadu Bello University. Permit me to share my own act of knowledge in governance. The government do not need to overflow this matter. They should take their phones. The governor should apologize. Call each and every of these persons who are former governors before he became a governor and apologize to them for his inability to provide them with security, protecting their lives as enshrined in the Constitution. And at the same time, promise that this particular matter will be thoroughly investigated and the report will be given to the public accordingly. That way, it will have given him an opportunity to show that he has learned the rudiment of governance, which is very important for the people of Edo State, at least to cover them from the show of shame that took place on that particular day. For me, that would have been a very, at least, better attempt for him to know that the people are watching and they are listening, and they will act appropriately when they are not being governed well.
All right,
Thank you very much. God bless you.
Yunusa Tanko, thank you very much. Bugie Okhuemoi, thank you as well, gentlemen, for being with us on this conversation. We'll continue to monitor what's happening in the situation. And of course, if we have cause to bring you back on the show, we will.